I'm Corby Robertson. I'm the founder of the Whispering Pines Golf Club with my wife Barbara, and we've been working up here in the Piney Woods together since we got married. We actually started Camp Olympia with my college roommate Chris Gilbert when I was 20 and he was 21. A year later, Barbara and I got married and we moved straight from Austin, where we finished our senior year at UT, to Camp Olympia, and we've been working in the Piney Woods with people ever since.
Tell me, kind of walk me back and tell me why Camp Olympia in the first place. I know that you have a real fondness for camp from your own background. Share that story with me.
Well, I had been to Camp Longhorn and loved it. My wife had been to Camp Chile and Camp Mystic and loved it. My college roommate, Chris Gilbert, had been to camp as well. We all loved camp. We loved kids and thought that this would be a wonderful thing to do. My parents owned a piece of land. It was about 5 miles as a crow flies from here, about 1,600 acres, and had 5 lakes on it. And so Mr. Gilbert, Earl Gilbert, Chris's dad, was a builder. So we took out a $35,000 loan in 1968. We were juniors in college, built 8 cabins and bathroom, built a chow hall and nurses station, and cleared off some fields for football, baseball, and poured a basketball court, had a swim bay in the lake, and started camp. We were playing football for Texas at the time, and so we had gotten a lot of publicity through playing football, and so we just told them we were starting a camp. And so Longhorn Faithful, I guess, or whatever, got the word out, and it was really word of mouth that we started camp. We had 89 campers the first summer for a 1-2-week session. Of course, we were still building it until about July, and of course we started 2-a-days back in August. So we had a very limited time to get it started, but we were still playing football for the University of Texas at the time, so we were quite busy.
Were you working the camp? Were you with the kids, or did you just oversee it and start it?
Well, we were counselors in the cabin. The cook fell and broke her arm off a horseback, so we worked in the kitchen. The camp director had broken his ankle trying to teach Chris a new move. Now, Chris had only rushed for 2,400 yards in the Southwest Conference in 2 years, but the camp director thought, he was about 60 years old, thought he needed to teach Chris a new move. So at that time, we did everything. So we were young, and you just do what you need to do. And the next year, we had 182 kids, and it's grown ever since. So it's been a joy.
At what point did you transition from that location to where Camp Olympia is currently? Tell me the journey of that.
Well, in about 1977, HISD basically had a magnet school settlement, a court settlement, so that they wouldn't have to bus kids all over Houston. And so where they were going to integrate their lower school, the 5th graders, they're going to integrate at camp. So they sent their kids to a camp, and they almost killed a judge's son at this other camp. Billy Reagan, who was running HISD, was a friend then and still a friend, the superintendent, and came to me and said, "Corby, you and Chris need to run a camp for me." And so I said, well, okay. So we entered into a joint use agreement, moved the camp from my parents' property down to the location that it's at now on Lake Livingston, because if we were going to winterize it, which we needed to run year round, if we were going to make it bigger, and if we were going to do all that, we needed more boating. For a summer camp in Texas, you need to get people in the water. So we've now got 9 ski boats and I don't know how many sailboats and canoes and wake boats and all. There's lots of water activity. There's blobs, 2 blobs, and big slides, and so it's hot here. It's hot everywhere in Texas. So the Texas camps, the water activity is really important, and this gave us a lot bigger lake with a lot more opportunity. So we moved here in 1978, and so we've been here ever since. We've had 46 summers now at Camp Olympia. We've had about 35 or 36 summers taking HISD's 5th graders. So we take about 8,000 kids a year through the program. We do a first tee program over here for about 1,000 of them. So we have a junior golf program for about another 250 kids here at Whispering Pines. And so the combination of the two is really a dynamite thing, because I presume that you're going to go over and see the activities at Camp Olympia, of the idea of an Olympic Village. Well, that's every summer for us. We got kids from Mexico, from Japan, from Italy, from France, all over the place. So camp is already a global village, and of course, even more so this week, you know, with all 6 continents being represented. The only continent we don't have is Antarctica. But I don't know any penguins that play golf.